Hi everyone, thanks for joining. This will be a quick webinar on supporting the faculty portal that's being put into Connect Carolina specifically for faculty. For those that don't know me, I'm Jackie Treschel. I'm on the Connect Carolina Change Management team, and our moderator today in the room with me is Chris Minner, who is also on the Connect Carolina Change Management team, and he's going to be recording questions throughout. So if you have any questions during the presentation, Chris will be recording those. So let's just talk quickly about the format. So it's going to be a presentation followed by question and answer. You can use the chat window to type your questions, and we'll answer the questions during the segment in the order that we receive them. And this webinar is being recorded and posted in a couple of days on ccinfo.unc.edu/faculty. There'll be a note at the bottom on that page for you to go and find this webinar along with some other information. So let's talk a little bit about what our agenda looks like today. Again, I don't think this is going to be a very long session, probably 15 or 20 minutes at the most, but we're going to talk about what the faculty portal is, what does it look like. I'm going to give you some information about not all faculty are getting the portal right now, and then what the rollout looks like, and then how you can get help if you have a faculty member that needs it, and then of course the questions at the end. So let's just jump in. So what is the faculty portal? So the faculty portal combines teaching and research information that faculty members use most onto the first page they see in Connect Carolina. And so what that means is that on one page, this is all of the information that faculty members will be able to see. So their teaching schedules and class rosters will be right there on the first screen. They'll be able to one click to see which students have incompletes in any of their classes. And if they do research, they'll be able to see the financial information about their contracts and grants, and have a link to the new PI dashboard as well. Approval notifications from research applications such as Ramsey's and eCert. And if they are also if they're a finance or an HR approver, they'll get those notifications just like they already do as well. And then charging instructions for their salary. So this is their chart field information for how their salary is paid. Many faculty at the university, as you know, have multiple sources of funding that pay for their salary. And so they're able to see the chart field strings and the amounts of their salary. And then as well, there is commonly used links for teaching and research on the portal, the faculty portal as well. So let's jump in and give you a quick look at what the faculty portal looks like. So here's the ooh and ah screen. Ooh, ah. So, you know, it's tile-based. And so this is when they log in after they've done their single sign-on, this is the page that pulls up. So now let's just break it down a little bit and talk about each section. There are 8 sections total on here, and some of them look familiar. They're just presented a little bit different. So the first one, and you see up in the top right corner here, I'm showing you where it is on the portal, just for reference. So the first section is that UNC links. This is like the blue buttons that we have in Connect Carolina already, that everybody sees now when you go in to like get your paycheck or your W-2, something like that. So that part hasn't changed. What has changed is down at the bottom here is a My Links section, and you can add or delete external links. So the big thing here is that they do need to be external, you know, other websites, that sort of thing, not pages within Connect Carolina. And when the faculty member is adding a link, in case you get a question about this, it does have to be the full URL. So starting with the HTTP or the HTTPS has to be included in there. Otherwise, it won't recognize the link. Scrolling down is status and notifications. So these will be messages that are faculty specific, things like outages, things like grades are due. You know, we're still defining exactly what those messages are going to look like, but these will be messages that are specific to faculty. Up in this middle section, even if somebody does not have research, they will see this section. It will just be blank, and it'll say no data to show in that section, but they will still see the section even if they are not a principal investigator. And this is pulling from the PI dashboard, which is in InfoPort, which you may have heard of. And the big thing here is that this is for externally funded research. So if they work with the Office of Sponsored Research for their projects, they would show up on this section here in research projects. If they don't, and they only they have what are considered internal grants, then they're not going to show up on here because this is specific to the Office of Sponsored Research, so externally funded research. There's a couple of buttons down there. The big thing is if you click this award view button, it opens the PI dashboard in InfoPort so that they can see awards and projects as well. Moving on to the center is teaching. Again, if you have, just like with the research above, if you have a faculty member that only does research and doesn't teach, this section will be blank, but the section will still exist. And so right here, they can see their schedule, you know, how many people are enrolled in the class, the time of the class, where the class is located. They would be able to click on the semesters to see what's on there for the semesters. And then if they click the course link that's in blue, they can immediately pull up their class roster, grade roster, and then a roster with pictures. So this is all functionality that they can currently do in Connect Carolina. It just takes a few more clicks now. That'll take, you know, 2 clicks here to see your class roster once you get in. Moving down to the bottom section, this is where those salary sources are. And you see here is a drop down. The document that we have prepared for faculty, sort of a quick start guide, shows this section as open. It defaults to closed, however. So the arrow that I have highlighted here is what they'll need to click to open that section, because again, it does default to closed. If they want to see it, they'll need to open it up. And that's based on faculty early on that they didn't want to see that immediately on their screen. So in that section, there is the personal faculty documents as well. And this is a place that they can upload, you know, anything that they want to just store on there, something like their CV, can be uploaded here, and then it's saved within Connect Carolina. So moving on to the inbox on the top right, again, this is that research notifications. Currently, you know, systems like Ramsey's and eCert will send an email notification when they have something to do in the systems. They will still receive an email. There are no plans to get rid of the email, but if they want to do it from here, they can, you know, go to the research, they can click it, and then see their notifications here. And again, like I mentioned, the HR and finance functionality is there as well. And just like the research section and the teaching section, these will appear even if they don't have research, they just won't have anything in there. You see in my example here, this person doesn't have any HR or finance approvals that are needed, but they have 2 research ones. Moving down from that is a help and support link, and this has some information for them that they can, you know, take a look at. So working with the faculty portal, that's our quick start guide. The PI dashboard as well is on there, and then there's external links to CC Info and UNC Research and the registrar's page, as well as the service desk. And then the final section is a report list. And currently the only report that's in there is if they are a manager, they'll see upcoming employee terminations. So employees that are scheduled to be terminated. And that, you know, again, only if they are a manager will they see that report, but the section will be there otherwise. So in a nutshell, that's the faculty portal. it's easy to navigate, it's fewer clicks, and that's it. So let's talk a minute about how not all faculty are going to get the portal, but that's just for now. So administrative users. So there are some options in Connect Carolina that can only be accessed through the main menu at the top of the screen. And if that's the only place that a function can be accessed, then it can't be, then they won't have that functionality in the faculty portal. And so what we're doing is we're notifying those faculty members separately. They're getting an email just letting them know that, they have options, they have functions that they can only use that way. And so they're getting that email, and they're also being told, this last bullet here, that if they don't use those functions, they can create a help request to have the faculty portal turned on. So if they don't ever go to main menu, for example, then chances are, they get to their functionality somewhat another way, and they don't have to have it. The other option, or the other group, is anybody that has the accessibility resources turned on in Connect Carolina. They are not compatible with the faculty portal. And so just like with the administrative users, we are notifying those faculty members separately, and letting them know that right now we can't turn it on. But our goal is that all faculty members will be able to use the faculty portal. So we are working towards that goal. So moving along, talking about the rollout. So as you may have guessed, based on the fact that we have some administrative users and some accessibility users, access is granted manually, and it's based on school or division. And some faculty members have appointments in multiple schools or divisions. So that's something to keep in mind is, if you have a faculty member in your area that has it before, other faculty members do, it may be because they got turned on with their other appointment. And so we are sending an email to the faculty members a day or two before, and we've sent sort of heads up emails to these groups. So MOU financial leads, HR officers, of course, CTC, business managers, RASG, ResInfo, just trying to get the word out to everybody else that this is coming, even though we as non-faculty members cannot see the faculty portal other than, in these screenshots and whatnot. We can't log in and see it. But just, having some awareness around the fact that it's coming. So we did start rolling out the week of February 26th. We had one school that has been turned on. Most of their faculty have received it. And we have a rolling schedule through the week of April 2nd is our current plan now. So getting help. So this document here, it's a screenshot of the document, can be found on ccinfo.unc/faculty. And the big thing is that this document, because the color palette and whatnot, and it's meant to be a foldable, so that it's a folded quick start guide. And so it really needs to be printed on 11 by 17 paper, and in color if that's an option. If you print it on 8.5 by 11, it gets very, very small. So it's a two-sided 11 by 17 and then just folded in half. So that's just kind of a quick way to, if you have people that are questioning that. And our plan is to get those to the schools and divisions out to the faculty in a printed form. But we'd love to hear your feedback on easier ways to reach faculty for this specific item. But then also in general, just, we've heard that faculty more often than not prefer to have paper copies of something to look at. So if you have any suggestions, or anything about, getting this information to faculty, please send them, in the chat window now or reach out to us later, and just, let us know. But in terms of additional help, so the ITS Service Desk and the Business Systems Help Desk have both been trained to support the faculty portal. And so help requests, if you get a question that you aren't able to answer, you can submit the help request at 962-HELP or online at help.unc.edu. And that's it. So that, in a nutshell, like I said, is the faculty portal, and that's 17 minutes, so right in the middle of what I thought. So Chris, do we have any questions?
We do. We have one.
Okay.
Maribel would like to know, where are the docs the faculty upload? Where are they actually stored?
They are stored on the server, but they are only accessible to the faculty members, the faculty member that uploads it. So they're the only ones that see it.
Okay. That is all the questions we have so far.
That is all the questions. All right. So I'm going to scroll back sort of at warp speed. Well, let me do it this way because it's easier. All right. So just in case anyone wants to spend a second studying it and has questions about the faculty portal, we can wait a couple minutes and see. While we're waiting, early on I mentioned that you can see the incomplete students that have incompletes. So that's on this tab right here in the center that says pending incomplete, and that would just be a click and it would list the students there. And, also, if you get questions from faculty members, it does say faculty portal at the top when they log in. So if, it's a question, you receive a question about, I logged into Connect Carolina, it doesn't look like it used to. Again, currently we're just emailing faculty members before we start. But so if you get a question on that, you may want to ask them if it says faculty portal at the top to be able to help support them.
Okay, we have a question from David. It says, from the list of students with incomplete grades, does it link them to the grade change process from there?
That's a good question, David. I don't actually know the answer to that. So I will follow up and reach back out and let you know. I'm making myself a note of that. All right.
No other questions.
No other questions?
I think you just covered it so well, Jackie.
Somehow I doubt that. So I think we'll wait about 30 more seconds and see, because you can typically tell if someone's typing, right?
We got a thanks for the demo.
Oh.
Not a question, but Simon says thank you.
All right. Thanks for attending, Simon. All right, so I guess with that, we'll sign off. If you do have any questions, let us know. And we'll do our best to get the answers to you. And again, you can always, find this information, and the webinar will be posted on ccinfo.unc.edu/faculty. Thanks, everyone.